Hello, so today we're going to learn how to apply the simple interest formula to find something other than interest. Use it to find principal, rate, or time. So let's look at example number 1. Mrs. Williams wants to know how long it will take an investment of $450 to earn $117 in interest if the yearly interest rate is 6.5% paid at the end of each year. So first thing we want to do is we want to determine what we know. So I'm going to write out I, P, R, T. So the amount that she's investing is your principal, so that's $450. To earn $117 in interest, so your I is 117. Your yearly interest rate is 6.5%, so I have to change that into a decimal by dividing by 100, and that would give me 0.065. And what we don't know is the amount of time. So now we're going to write out our equation. I equals P times R times T. And we'll substitute in the information that we know. So we know that interest is 117 equals our principal is 450. Our rate is 0.065. And the time we don't know. So what we have to do is we need to multiply together 450 with 0.065 first so we can solve this equation. So now we're going to have 117 gets brought down equals the product of 450 and 0.065 is 29.25. Keep the x. And now since x is multiplying with 29.25, we want to divide both sides by 29.25. So we have to do 117 divided by 29.25, and that gives us 4 is equal to x. So the amount of years would be 4 years. All right, so question number 2. Lucas borrowed $10,500 to buy a boat. He will pay a total of $2,772 in interest over the next 48 months. Find the simple interest rate of the loan. So we need to identify I, P, R, and T. So it says that he's borrowing $10,500. So that would be your amount of principal. He will pay a total of $2,772 in interest. So that's going to be our I. And then our rate is what we want to find. And the time is 48 months, but 48 is in terms of months. So we have to divide it by 12 to get the amount of years. Okay, so now we want to write out our formula. I equals PRT, and we want to substitute in what we know. So I is 2,772 is equal to principal times rate, which we don't know, so we put an X, times time, which is 4. So now what we want to do is we want to multiply together our 10,500 with 4, and that would give us 42,000. So we'll have 2,772 is equal to 42,000x, and then to get x by itself, we would have to divide both sides by 42,000. So we're doing 2,772 divided by 4,000. I'm sorry, 42,000. And that gives us 0.066 is equal to x. That's your decimal. You have to change it to a percent by multiplying it by 100, which means that decimal gets moved over 2 places to the right. So we get 6.6%. Okay, and last example, number 3. A certificate of deposit, called a CD, has an annual simple interest rate of 5.25%. if $567 in interest is earned over a 6-year period, how much was invested? So we want to write out I, P, R, T, and identify what it is that we know. So we are told our amount of interest is $567. We are told our simple interest rate is 5.25%. So if I divide that by 100, I would get 0.525. And you're told your amount of time is 6 years. So we want to find out how much was invested. What is that principal amount? So I equals PRT. 567 equals X times 0.0525 times 6. And now we want to multiply 0.0525 times 6. And that would give you 567 equals 0.315x. And then you have to divide 0.315 on both sides to get x by itself. And that would give us 1,800 is equal to x. So that would be the amount that he invested. So now I'd like you to complete the try yourself problems, numbers 4, 5, and 6, and submit it to me when you have completed it. And as always, you can take a picture of your work and send that to me if it's easier.